Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, it is Friday, and the weekend is upon us. And my prayer, as always, is that if you don't have a church home or go attend a Bible-believing church, you make it to one. You sit under the reading of the Word. You come together with a church body, united under the Word, convicted by the Word, where the Holy Spirit shows up and the congregation is convicted and moved and in harmony with one another with the Lord. That's my prayer. That's what is gonna change the culture, right? That's what's gonna change the culture is when we get convicted by the Word, and then we repent, and then we are different, and then the culture sees us. We impact the culture versus the culture impacting us. And that's what we've been seeing here um, with Samuel, with Eli, with his sons. Um, it's they were impacted by the culture. His sons wanted to be fat off of God's portion. They wanted to be fat off of God's portion, and Phineas and Hophni, they were willing to extort the people and prevent the people from their atoning gift to God, so that they could get fat off of God's glory. Um, and they were creating a culture, a spirit, if you will, of blasphemy. That's what they were doing, and it impacted the camp. It impacted the people. But we'll get into that here in just a second. It is currently 18 degrees. It's snowing a little bit, but it snowed overnight, so pretty much after this, I'll have a shoveling exercise first thing this morning, because I'm sure school will not be canceled. It didn't snow that much, and it's not snowing now, so I just gotta get the driveway cleaned up so at the end, when the plow truck comes through and there's this giant mountain, we can still get out. So we are in 1 Samuel. We're in a study of 1 Samuel. We'll be here for another few weeks. And then, coming up into the Easter season, probably, and second week of March, we're going to jump into a study of the Gospels, and we'll walk up to the crucifixion and resurrection. So coming into Easter. So 1 Samuel chapter 4. 1 Samuel chapter 4. So Eli Eli was just told of Samuel's vision from God. God spoke to Samuel, told him that, told God told Samuel that Eli's family wasn't gonna see atonement with God. Their sins will not be atoned for. To not be able to atone for sins and make right sins, or repent and get right or atoned for by God. That's a lonely place to be, right? And so they'll never, God will never accept their offering, and He won't have there'll only be one family member left to see, basically, where and what that has done to the family. Okay, and so the word of the Lord comes to Samuel, and he calls out to all Israel. This is verse 1 of chapter 4. And Israel went out to battle against the Philistines, and they were camped at Ebenezer. So let me pull up this little map so you can see where we're talking about. Long time. All right, so Ebenezer. So they start in Shiloh, they roll up into Ebenezer, Aphek. So this is a little bit of occupied territory by the Philistines right here, and Aphek is kind of like at the corner, at the border, northern border. So Shiloh, this is where the Israelites are. They roll over here. Aphek is here, and they battle here. Okay, and they battle here. So they come out to battle, and and the Philistines win. But listen what Israel says in verse 3. Verse 3. Um, and when the people came to the camp, the elders of Israel said, "Why has the Lord defeated us today before the Philistines?" So at least the people are giving God credit. Like God controls everything. They said, "Why has the Lord defeated us?" And then they say, "Let us bring the Ark of the Covenant here from Shiloh." So also where Eli was is the Ark of the Covenant. So he's also with the Ark of the Covenant there at the temple. Eli and his family are responsible for that as well. They're responsible for that as well. So they've um, disgraced the priesthood. They've disgraced it. So let us bring the Ark of the Covenant here from Shiloh, that we may that it may come among us and save us from the power of our enemies. So the people were sent Shiloh and brought from there the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord of hosts, who is enthroned on the cherubim. All right, so the cherubim, the Lord of hosts is enthroned on the cherubim. They're it's the Ark of the Covenant itself could be an idol, but in this case, I don't believe it is, because it's saying that the Lord is enthroned on it. So they're trying to bring the presence of the Lord, not the thing of the Ark of the Covenant, right? That's the idea, is the presence of the Lord. They're trying to bring God to the battle. Okay, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the Ark of the Covenant of God. Uh, so the can, I'm trying to think how to word it. So there's been times in my life where I've called on God, right? But I didn't want to give up the idol. Like I know I've needed help. I know there's only God that could help me. I know I needed to call on God to come to where I was, but yet still wanted to remain in sin. That's kind of like what's happening here. So the people know Eli and Hophni are bad. They know that they're stealing God's glory, and they know that um, what they're doing is wrong, but they let them stay in God's presence. And as soon as the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord came to the camp, all Israel gave a mighty shout, yea. And then the Philistines heard it, and they're like, oh, God must be with them. And then they even say, woe to us, for nothing like this has happened before. Woe to us, who can deliver us from the power of these mighty gods? So when they heard that shout, even the Philistines knew the power of God. They knew the power of God. Even the enemy knows the power of our God. So why do we continue to hang on to idols when we want the presence of the power of our God?